Hi, I'm Bill O'Reilly, and this is the Talking Points memo, the legacy of President Bush the Elder. So I did not know the president that well. I had a correspondence with him. He sent me letters saying that please don't make them public until I pass. And of course, I honored that request. I posted two of the most important letters on BillO'Reilly.com, should you want to read them. The gist of the letters was this. On the O'Reilly factor, Michael Dukakis, who President Bush defeated in 1988, said that the Iran-Contra scandal during the Reagan years was worse than what Bill Clinton did. And Bush, he wailed on that, all right? And I agree with President Bush, the elder, that Iran-Contra, while it was not a good thing, there was a noble intent. There was no noble intent for what Bill Clinton put the country through. Second was on the media bias that we all know exists in America. Very interesting letter about what he himself went through, George H.W. Bush, and what his son went through. So both, again, are posted on BillO'Reilly.com. As for the Bush presidency, it was a mixed bag. He lost re-election because of the economy and because it was a third-party candidate that ran against him. You may remember that. But primarily, Americans lost faith in him because he raised taxes when he said he would not. If he hadn't done that, there would not have been a third-party candidate, and I think he would have defeated Bill Clinton, even though the press was heavily rooting for the governor of Arkansas. Also, in the first Gulf War, I was there in Kuwait after Saddam Hussein's troops were kicked out by a coalition put together by President Bush in America. He let them escape. President Bush let Saddam's army escape on the so-called highway of death. American Air Force could have wiped them out in half an hour, and that would have been the end of Saddam Hussein. That should have happened. In hindsight, you look at all the trouble Saddam caused the world. Reason it didn't was Saudi Arabia. Isn't this interesting how Saudi Arabia, way back in 1990 and now again in 2018, is still involved in all this intrigue? So the Saudis, as you may know, are Sunni Muslim. So is Saddam. Sunnis don't like Shia. The Saudis didn't want Saddam out because they knew that the Shiites would take over, and then Iran would run Iraq by proxy, Iran being a Shiite nation. It's all about Muslim, Islam, but the fundamentalism that grew up, Saudi Arabia behind a lot of it, all stem back from the first Gulf War, and Saddam should have taken out, President Bush, the elder, should have taken out Saddam. On a positive front, obviously, he managed the disintegration of the Soviet Union extremely well. President Reagan was the driving force behind that, bankrupting the Russians, and they just couldn't afford anymore to keep up with us, and their economy collapsed. Berlin Wall came down. I was there, too. I was right there when it came down, and I've been pretty much everywhere in the world when major things have happened. So that's why you perhaps listen to me. Now, on a personal front, George H.W. Bush was a generous man, a kind man, not a saint, obviously. We're all sinners. Family loved him. Kids loved him. Good dad, maybe a great dad. And that's the mark of a man, all right? Also, he was a rich guy. Yeah, all of that. Father, a senator, had all the privilege. Don't hold it against him, but I'm a working class kid. So I always look at the rich guys with a bit of a skepticism. Same thing with Donald Trump. But I've known Trump for 30 years, so I know him a lot better than I knew Bush the elder. I like the fact that the press is giving props to President Bush. I know they're doing it to diminish Donald Trump. If you read the letter about the press, you know that George Bush knew how the press tried to hurt him dramatically, and they did. They tried to hurt him. But now he's the greatest guy because they want to make Trump look bad in comparison. That's what's happening. And that's a memo. I'm Bill O'Reilly for Newsmax, reminding you that Killing the SS, huge bestseller. We hope you check it out for Hanukkah and Christmas. And check out BillO'Reilly.com. We'll talk to you soon.